Have you ever felt like your heart had betrayed you? That you had found your soulmate, but everything fell apart, leaving behind only doubt and emptiness? What if I told you that these fake soulmates aren't mistakes, but specific stages your soul must go through before meeting the real one? Today, I'm going to reveal the 3 types of fake soulmates you'll likely encounter before the real one, and why they're an essential part of your spiritual path. 1. The mirror of raw emotions. The first false soulmate. He enters your life like a sudden, almost blinding light. You weren't expecting him. You weren't ready. But your fragile heart clings to him with a strength you never suspected. It's an encounter that shakes you, that awakens feelings you thought didn't exist, as if an inner door were suddenly opened. At first, everything seems beautiful, almost innocent. It's the first time you find yourself dreaming of a shared future, imagining building a life together, as if everything was already written in the script. Your heart, still immature, races. It beats faster. It becomes more attached. It believes it has found what it has always been looking for. You begin to build sandcastles, plans, promises, illusions. But you know what happens to sandcastles, don't you? The first wave is enough to destroy them. And this wave can take 1,000 forms. Betrayal, distance, misunderstanding, or sometimes simply time, which reveals that this bond wasn't strong. There, in the silence of a broken heart, you realize a painful truth. You don't control your heart as you thought. This is the first big lesson. You see, this first false soulmate isn't sent to last. It's sent to expose your vulnerability. It acts like a mirror that reveals you to yourself. Your thirst for love, your fear of loss, your need to be validated by the other. It's an inner storm that unveils the flaws you hide from others, but which Allah, He, sees perfectly. And this is where the awakening begins. Because this first false bond, as painful as it may be, makes you discover something essential. Your emotions alone are not enough to build something true. Love isn't just an intensity in the chest, a warmth in the belly, or butterflies in the soul. True love is a spiritual construct, rooted in something greater than yourself. But before you could understand it, you had to taste that raw fire, that immature fire which consumes you instead of uplifting you. So perhaps you're wondering, why does Allah allow this? Why does He let your heart cling to an illusion, only to then let you suffer in loss? What if this loss was actually a mercy in disguise? This first false soulmate acts as a purification. It breaks you to show you that your heart isn't as strong as you thought. It tears you away from your illusions to remind you that your soul isn't meant to bow down to a creature, but to its creator. And sometimes, it's only after feeling this immense emptiness that you realize how far you've strayed from the one who truly fills the void. Many young souls go through this moment. You cling to someone as if they were your lifeline, and when they leave, you think you're going to drown. But in reality, that's when you learn to swim. You learn to turn to Allah, to speak to Him in your prayers with a sincere heart, because you finally understood that no one else can hear the silent cries of your soul. That first false soulmate is often marked by intensity. You remember every look, every word, every emotion. And it's precisely this intensity that leaves a mark on you. Not to condemn you to suffering, but so that you'll never be the same again. It's a trial that changes your relationship with yourself, with love, and above all, with your Lord. Take a good look at your story. Wasn't it after this experience that you began to pray more sincerely? Wasn't it after this loss that you understood that your heart needed more than human promises? you thought you had lost. But in reality, you gained a new awareness. And if you observe carefully, you will notice one thing. This first false soulmate also awakens your capacity to love. Before him, your heart was asleep, perhaps even closed. You were unaware of the power of your attachment, nor the depth of your need to be understood. He is the one who makes you realize that you were created with a living heart, fragile but capable of feeling intensely. And this discovery, however painful, is an essential step in understanding love in its true form. The first false soulmate is not there to be your always. He's there to be your never again. You never want to love blindly again. You never want to build without foundations. Never again will you confuse fleeting emotions with eternal destiny. It is the shock of this first illusion that forges your vigilance. It is the wound of this first attachment that educates your soul. Because after seeing a sandcastle crumble, you begin to look for rock on which to build. 2. The nearly perfect illusion. You know that strange feeling? When you meet someone and suddenly everything seems to align. He speaks the way you'd like. He dreams the way you dream. He knows the words that touch you, the silences that reassure you, the gestures that awaken a disturbing familiarity within you. Then you think, that's it. It's him. It's her. My wait is over. And yet, there's this subtle, discreet, almost imperceptible emptiness, but very real. You can't ignore it. Your soul doesn't taste that deep peace. It knows when something comes from Allah. You sense an invisible dissonance, a root that isn't planted in the solid earth of destiny. You smile, but your heart trembles. You move forward, but your steps hesitate. You listen to his words, but inside, a soft voice whispers, it's not quite there yet. Then you begin to wonder, but why? Why does everything seem perfect? But I still feel empty. And this question becomes the key. Because the third false soulmate isn't there to teach you attachment like the first. He isn't there to expose you to the mirage like the second. No, he's there to test your lucidity, to see if you're capable of distinguishing between what glitters like gold and what is truly pure. You see, this type of bond is dangerous because it so closely resembles the truth that you could easily be deceived. You could mistake psychological attraction for spiritual compatibility. You could mistake sweet words for inner guidance. You could mistake apparent harmony for real peace. But the soul is never wrong. And when it's not at peace, it's not a detail. It's a sign. So imagine, you walk into a splendid house. The walls are decorated. The rooms exude beauty. Everything is in its place. But as you set foot inside, you feel an instability beneath the ground, as if the foundations were fragile, as if everything could collapse despite its perfect appearance. This is exactly what the third false soulmate represents. It pushes you to look beyond what is visible, to understand that true love is not just a compatibility of tastes, dreams, or ambitions. It's a compatibility of souls, anchored in divine light. And if that light isn't there, nothing can replace its absence. But admit it, it's not easy. Because your ego is screaming at you, stay. It's enough. Don't waste what you have. Because your past wounds are begging you, don't start losing everything again. You've suffered enough. And amidst this turmoil, your soul continues to whisper softly, this isn't true. It is a moment of immense trial. For the first time, you are not called to learn through the pain of loss, but through the clarity of intuition. You must trust what your spiritual heart feels, even if everything, outwardly, tells you otherwise. And perhaps you, who are listening to me now, are in this dilemma. You are with someone who matches you in 1,000 details. But there is this inner silence that won't die down. You laugh together, but a part of your soul still cries. You plan the future, but an inner voice tells you that this is not where your destiny is written. Do you know what this means? It means that your soul has grown, that it is no longer satisfied with what seems right, that it yearns for what is right before Allah. And perhaps this third false soulmate was not sent to destroy you, but to show you how sharpened your discernment has become. To teach you to no longer confuse what is almost with what is true. So, the question is no longer just, why do I feel this emptiness? The real question becomes, am I ready to listen to my soul, even if it means abandoning what seems perfect? And it is this question that opens a path even greater than you. 3. When Allah prepares your soul, 3 false soulmates, 3 veils. You think they're breaking you, but in truth, they're sculpting your heart. You think they've come to lead you astray when they've come to elevate you. For each veil, each illusion, actually hides a key. Imagine your soul like a rough diamond. When it emerges from the earth, it's hidden beneath layers of dust, stones, and impurities. No one yet guesses its value. But when it's placed in the hands of a craftsman, it begins to be polished. Every blow, every rub, every chip of stone removed brings it closer to its true beauty. And that's exactly what these 3 veils do. They polish your soul until it becomes capable of recognizing the truth when it finally appears. The first veil, that of raw emotions, reveals the fragility of your attachment. The second veil, that of mirage, exposes the insatiable hunger of your soul when it feeds on illusion. The third veil, that of near-perfect illusion, tests your lucidity and discernment. 3 stages, 3 tests, 3 mirrors. And if you observe closely, you will see that each of these false soulmates has actually carved out a space within you. A painful space, certainly, but necessary. Because a heart full of itself cannot welcome the truth. It must first be emptied of its illusions, cleansed of its blind attachments, purified of its confusion. So perhaps you've already asked yourself, why is Allah putting me through these trials? Why not directly give me the person who is made for me? The answer is simple but profound. Because your soul must learn to see. As long as you look with your eyes of flesh, you will only see superficial beauty. As long as you listen only to your ego, you will only hear its desires. As long as you move forward solely with your emotions, you will stumble over every illusion. But when you begin to look with the eyes of your soul, the veil is lifted. You then understand that attraction is not always a sign, that passion is not always a blessing, that what seems perfect in the eyes of others can be a subtle trap for your heart. And in this inner silence, a truth emerges. Allah did not create your soul to be lost in mirages. He created it to recognize, amidst 1,000 illusions, the one whose presence truly soothes your heart by His permission. The 3 false soulmates are therefore stages of preparation. Each of them lifts a veil from your eyes, a burden from your heart, an illusion from your mind, until the day your soul, tired of false splendor, will seek only the authentic light. But see the subtlety. Allah never sends you these veils to punish you. No, He sends them as a master sends his student progressive exercises. Each apparent failure is in reality training. Each loss is an initiation. Each pain is an opening. And if you look back on your path, you will see that you are no longer the same person you were when you first veiled yourself. Your outlook has changed. Your heart has matured. Your soul has learned. For it is only when you begin to distinguish passion from guidance and the pull of destiny that you become capable of receiving the true companion on your path. Not the one who flatters your ego, not the one who feeds your illusions, but the one who, by his mere presence, becomes an aid to your soul's journey towards Allah. But before this encounter occurs, there is one last thing to understand. A secret that few souls discover because they stop at the veils without seeking what they truly hide. And that's where the true unveiling begins. So, maybe your heart has already passed through one of these veils, maybe even two. You thought it was a loss, but in reality, it was a preparation. Every separation, every pain, every mirage is an invitation to raise your gaze and to prepare your soul for the one who is truly written for you. If you want to discover more reminders that illuminate your inner path, subscribe now and activate the bell. Because your soul deserves to no longer be lost in illusions, but to recognize the truth when it presents itself.